Hey guys, welcome back to the Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I'm going to share with you all of the books that I currently have checked out from the library. So, I am not going to share with you the books that I have checked out for my kids. We have a slew of picture books, we have some school books, we have the books that my kids are reading right now. I think total right now on my library card, I have about 75 books checked out from the library. We use our library a lot, and I love my library. It's just amazing. So I'm going to share with you today the books that I have checked out for me to read. I will preface this by saying these are all middle grade. I am very much on a middle grade kick right now. And on top of that, a lot of these are middle grade that are written in verse. So not all of them are, but a lot of them are. I'll try to kind of organize them appropriately. But a lot, like I said, all of these are middle grade except maybe one or two young adult graphic novels. But this is what I currently have checked out from the library for me to read. So let's start with the middle grade that I have checked out that are written in verse. The first one that I checked out is Garvey's Choice by Nikki Grimes. This is a book, I don't even remember where I heard about this from. I think it was from the Anne Bogle's Modern Mrs. Darcy. She had put a list out, I think, about books for kids or something like that. And so I went ahead and grabbed this one. It's very thin, and it is about a boy who is a bookworm, and his dad he loves music and math and learning about outer space, but his dad wants him to be a jock. That's all I know. So I grabbed that one. A new release that I checked out that I've heard amazing things about is Becoming Muhammad Ali. This is by James Patterson and Kwame Alexander. This is just a book written in verse about Muhammad Ali, and I was interested in reading that. All right, the next one that I checked out, I've already read, and that is Macy Mcmillan and the Rainbow Goddess by Sharon Green. This is one, I live in Minnesota, and in Minnesota we have what is called the Modhart Lovelace Award, and basically a selection of books gets picked every year, and kids that fall within the middle grade age range, they have to read at least 3 of the books, and then they can vote on their favorite, and this was one of the nominees. So I just went ahead and picked it up on a whim. I didn't really know what it was about, but it is about a deaf girl who has a next door neighbor who is elderly, and she's helping her pack up her house. She's getting ready to move, and it's about their relationship, and it was so good. A lot of references to books in here because what she's packing up is this lady's library, and it was just amazing. So anyway, went ahead and read this, and then while I was reading this, I was posting about it on Instagram, and one of my Instagram followers said that the same author had another book out, Missing Mike, that was even better, and so I've actually started reading this, but I haven't finished it yet. And this is about wildfires out in California, I believe, and a girl who basically, when they evacuated, she had to leave her dog. Her dog had gone missing, and they had to leave as soon as possible, and so it's about that. But it has been amazing as well so far. All right, another new release that I picked up that I had just heard good things about is Closer to Nowhere by Ellen Hopkins. This is about a boy, I believe. It's about cousins, and one of them, I think his parents die, and his mom died and his dad went to jail, and so he moves in with his cousin and her family, and so it's just told from both perspectives of each of the cousins, and so that sounded good. And then one that I heard about from Chantel at An Intentional Life, her channel, is May Be by Carolyn Starr Rose. This is set, I want to say, Little House on the Prairie time frame, but kind of like out west. I'm not 100% sure, but it's just told in verse about that. And then in her comments, somebody said that there was another book written in verse by the same author called Bluebirds that is about a Roanoke girl and an English girl when the English come over to settle, and the relationship between the two of them, and that this was amazing as well. So I went ahead and grabbed that one. So those are all the books that I have out that are written in verse. And then I just have some middle grade that I just got because they looked good or I had heard good things about them. Some of them I'm like checking out for a future project. But another Maud Hart Lovelace nominee that I picked up is Restart by Gordon Corman. This is about a boy who, I want to say, he falls. He remembers hitting his head and then he doesn't really remember anything else. And so it says, lose your memory, find your life. And so just kind of about how the kids are reacting to him at school. Some of the kids are treating him like the hero. Some of them are like treating him like he's awful. And so what happened, that sort of thing. But pick that up. I also got Two Roads by Joseph Brubaker. I have no idea how to pronounce this last name. This is a historical fiction about a Native American government boarding school that these boys go to. It's in 1932 and just sounds absolutely fascinating. So grab that. One that just looked fun. I just grabbed this one. I might read this with my kids or something. It's called Saucy. It is by Cynthia Kadohata. And it is just about this girl who has a pig. She finds a piglet on the side of the road, and she decides to keep it, and the pig's name is Saucy. So, I don't know. All right, this one I found on a list, like online or something, and it just sounded so interesting. This is The House That Lou Built by May Respicio? Oh, I don't know if I said that right. This is about a girl who, her mom, she shares a room with her mom in her grandmother's house and longs to have a place of her own where she can escape her lovable but large Filipino family. So she takes a woodshop class at school and decides that she is going to build a tiny house for her and her mom to live in, which just sounds endearing. All right. Let's see. Another one I grabbed is Genesis Begins Again by Alicia D. Williams. This one I have heard amazing things about. And it is about a 13-year-old girl who dislikes herself. And basically, I think it's because she's darker than her other family members. And so it's about like colorism and that sort of thing, I believe. But I've just heard amazing things. Sorry about all the glare on the library covers. But I've heard such great things about that. So I grabbed that one. All right. And then another one that I heard amazing things about is Harbor Me by Jacqueline Woodson. This is not new. It's pretty short and I have heard is just absolutely remarkable. But it is about a group of students at a middle school who basically are all sent to meet together. I don't know if it's during school or after school, but they basically are there kind of like a support group, but they don't really know why each of them is in there. And then they kind of figure out how all of their stories are intertwined. But yeah. All right, and then two more that I have checked out that I've already read. The first is Fighting Words by Kimberly Brubaker Bradley. This is a middle grade book that deals with the topic of sexual abuse, and it is so impactful and so well done, but definitely like use caution when handing this to a middle grader. This is a great book for like parents to read with their children, to have conversation about. And I think it's important for children who, you know, have maybe been through something like this and want to be able to see themselves in a book. It is so impactful, so well done. I will talk more about it in my wrap-up, my November wrap-up. But yeah, so got that one from the library. And then another Maud Hart Lovelace nominee that I picked up and read is Insignificant Events in the Life of a Cactus by Dusty Boling. This book was so interesting. This book is about a girl who was born with no arms, and she moves to a new town, and she's kind of going through, I think she's 13 in this maybe, and she's just kind of going through the whole like being the new student at school situation. and having no arms and having like all these issues. And she befriends this boy who has Tourette syndrome. And there's a lot of conversation in here about Tourette syndrome and the stigma around it and what it is and what it isn't. And the curiosity I think that this will spark in children about people with no arms and how they are fully functioning human beings and how they are able to do so much in life. And just, it's so good. Both of my kids want to read this. I actually had this laying on the table, and one of my daughter's friends came over and she was like, oh, who's reading that? That's the best book I've ever read. And and so it was just so interesting. Loved it. So anyway, those are some more middle grades. And then I do have a handful of graphic novels that I have out from the library right now. The first of which is Mouse. I don't know if this is just, Mouse 1. I don't know if there's more than one. But this is just a like classic graphic novel that I have never read. So I got it in hopes that I would read it before I have to take it back, because it's just one of those that I feel like every graphic novel lover out there needs to read. Another one I got is Shirley and Jamila Save Their Summer by Gillian Goers. This one I heard about from Vanessa over at Split Reads. She had it in one of her library halls, and so I just went ahead and put it on hold from my library. It's a middle grade graphic novel about these girls who need to save their summer. I don't really know besides that. I have the graphic novel adaptation of Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. The art is by Danica Novgorodov. And I've read this book or listened to it previously and just really wanted to read the graphic novel. So got that one. Another one that I've already read that I still have out from the library that I love is Witches of Brooklyn by Sophie Escabase, I think is how you pronounce that name. This one was just so good. Loved it so much. It's about a little girl who moves in with her great aunts, her aunts that are just kind of quirky, and she finds out that they're witches and that she's a witch too, and it's, love that. And then the last one that I have here is Irina. This is by four different authors, Morven, Everard, Trefuel, and Walter is what the last names are. But this is just a graphic story of Irina's children. It is Irina, what was her last name? It says right in the front here. Irina Senlarowa? I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. But she was a woman during World War II who helped a bunch, thousands of children escape from the ghettos. And so anyway, I just got this because I thought that that would be very interesting, and we'll probably share that with my daughter as well. So those are all the books that I currently have out from the library, not to mention all these gems behind me that I still have not read. What are you going to do? But I love my library so much. Give your library some love. I know a lot of them are still closed, but a lot of them do curbside pickups. That's what my library does, and just kind of allows, my library also right now currently allows you to go in the building for very, very brief amounts of time. So we have been able to do that as well. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this. If you've read any of these, I would love to chat with you about them down below in the description box. And I hope that you enjoyed this. If you're interested in seeing, on a regular basis what I have out from the library, let me know. I really enjoy kind of seeing what other people get out from the library. So yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this, and I hope that you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.